What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Today we're working on the 5.0 swap Miata, and we got some pretty cool stuff to check out today. I got my LS headers for an LS1 Chevy, and I'm gonna see how they fit on my Ford 302. I know they're gonna need a little bit of modification, but I've been trying to figure out exhaust for this car for quite a while. So today we're gonna kind of laying them in here, mocking them up, and checking it all out. So right away, we got these headers from eBay. They were basically the cheapest things you could find. They're a little bit more expensive because I got the shorter collector. A lot of them that you look up, they'll have like a little bit longer one. Those ones are actually cheaper for some reason, but these ones have a little bit shorter collector. I wanted that for the fitment. But then I'm going to have to do some machining to the flange to make it so the bolts will match up to the AFR heads I'm using. They got the 3-inch bolt spacing for the small block Ford. But that shouldn't be a big deal. I mean, it's just I'll get an end mill and go to town. So that's not too bad, but they look really nice. The flange up here doesn't seem to have a lot of weld on it, which I guess is okay. It's welded on the inside. Let me see if I can show that here. So I guess that's fine. The outside, I guess it don't really matter too much. All the welds inside here look pretty decent. And it comes with, an extra set of V-bands, gaskets, and one for your rest of your exhaust, which is pretty nice. So we're going to try to get those fit up in here, which kind of seems a little crazy. They're pretty huge for a small block Ford. But they should work, and they should do what I want. So right away, throwing these in here, kind of in an up and back formation. Obviously, that isn't where it needs to be. And it'll have to go through the firewall in this configuration, which actually is kind of some of my plan. I'm not 100% sure yet. Now that I have these, I'll actually really nail it down. But man, do they look good in there. And they really fit pretty decent. They do touch the frame rail right here, right next to that. So once I get them kind of where I need them, I'll notch that little bit of that lip off. Because, the frame rail has this tiny lip here. I'll notch that away and clearance it, which is no big deal. But these fit in there a lot better than I expected. So the other orientation that I'm looking at here is kind of running them forward. Then I would kind of cross this one over and run it out this side. There's a lot more room on that side of the car. Man, they fit so well in there. It's kind of crazy how good they fit. Obviously it's not exactly right, but I'm just slapping them in there. That's not a big deal to make that work. And you can actually get all the plugs on here, which is pretty amazing for a Ford situation. That one's kind of down in there, but that's no big deal. We can make that work. I had to quick slap the other side in there. But that's in there. That's not bad. It's a little higher than the other side. It's kind of hard because I got the car jacked up funny, but comparatively, it's a little higher than the frame rail. Same deal. It hits the frame rail right there. Not a big deal. I can notch the frame rail out over there. But look at how much room underneath here there is. That's where I thought about running it back through underneath. And then I'm going to actually run it along the side of the car. I've got some pipes to cut the side of the rocker off like some other guys have done. Cut the wheel well and run it through here. But I've backtracked on that thought a little bit. I kind of want to run them back into the car and then back out of the car so I don't have anything in the wheel well. Just for, I'm running 275s on this car, and if I ever wanted to go bigger, there's a possibility that would be in my way, and that would suck. So if I run it in the car, there's a ton of new problems to do with that. But I don't know. I'm really liking how they fit in there, and it really shouldn't take a ton of modifications. Now, there are some stuff that don't really work. Some things, I guess, is the right word. Let me flip some stuff around, and I'll show you. So I got it back in this configuration again because I think this is what I'm going to do. But if you look right there, that's where the throttle cable used to come through. And obviously, here's the brake booster mounting location. And the brake booster's out of there because of this exact situation. But Miatas don't tend to have to need power brakes. They got pretty decent braking already. And a lot of times that actually kind of affects your ability to stop these things unless you have the ABS stuff. So I'm probably going to run it without it. Especially if I run the exhaust in this, fashion. That's not going to work at all. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. I think I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to have to start cutting the firewall out and make that work. So for now, I think that's probably all I'm going to talk about when it comes to the exhaust. But till I get a little farther along and get some stuff cut and fit a little bit more, that's probably where we're going to go. I have to do some more research on the firewall strength and what works or doesn't work. But going from there, I think we're in good shape. I think these fit a lot better than, I was expecting them to. Obviously, they're not made for a Ford, so I got to do some work. But to get them to fit on that head, I'm impressed. Like, they need to go down some, so I got to do some notching. They definitely hit the frame rail. That could be the whole reason they need to go down more. They hit the frame rail. Got to do some more figuring out, but man, they fit really good for being a set of gargantuan heads or headers on these. Well, these are just OEM heads, but I'm excited. I think this will work pretty good.